There's a new tech race in classified hangars. Aerospace engineering's bleeding edge, hypersonic speed and stealth. Aircraft traveling at 5 times the speed of sound, invisible to radar. Global powers are pouring billions into this, fundamentally changing the game. We're going to do a deep dive into the history, tech, and key players. Who is actually winning this race? This is the race for hypersonic stealth. To understand America's hypersonic ambitions, we rewind to the post-World War II era. The X-Planes program was aviation's original moonshot, pushing boundaries higher and faster. Chuck Yeager's sound barrier brake ignited innovation. The X-15, a rocket with tiny wings, touched the edge of space at over Mach 6. The X-15 program provided invaluable data, teaching engineers about thermal management, new materials, and flight control. But then, priorities shifted. Apollo took center stage, and hypersonic aeronautics waned, going deeper into the black. The era of secretive black projects was beginning. As public X-plane programs wound down, the work went dark into so-called black projects. This era combined hypersonic speed and stealth technology, like the F-117 and B-2, proving aircraft could be invisible to radar. The challenge was immense. Could extreme speed be combined with stealth? This period saw the birth of numerous concepts and prototypes, like the mythical Aurora. These projects pushed boundaries, leading to a new philosophy focused on unmanned systems like the X-43A and X-51 Waverider. These were crucial stepping stones, paving the way for the current generation of hypersonic systems. And that brings us to today. After decades of foundational research, secret projects, and unmanned testbeds, the United States is now focused on operationalizing this technology. The emphasis has clearly shifted from purely experimental aircraft to developing actual hypersonic weapons that can be deployed from existing platforms like bombers and fighters. The thinking is that this provides a more immediate and flexible capability. You don't need a whole new, incredibly expensive fleet of hypersonic jets if you can give your current fleet hypersonic weapons. It's a pragmatic approach, driven by a renewed sense of urgency. One of the flagship programs right now is the AGM-183A, the Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, or ARW, pronounced Arrow. This is a boost glide vehicle. The concept is pretty neat. A large rocket booster accelerates the weapon to extreme altitudes and hypersonic speeds, after which a wedge-shaped payload detaches and glides unpowered to its target. Because it's unpowered during its final phase, it's harder to track, and its ability to maneuver makes it incredibly difficult to intercept. While the program has had a mix of successes and failures in testing, it represents a very real, tangible effort to field this capability quickly. But the ARW isn't the only game in town. There are other, arguably more advanced projects in the works under agencies like DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. They're looking at the next-step air-breathing hypersonic cruise missiles. Unlike a boost glide system, these weapons use scramjet engines to maintain hypersonic speed for their entire flight path, allowing them to fly at lower altitudes, hugging the terrain. This makes them even harder to detect. Programs like the Hypersonic Air-Breathing Weapon Concept, or HAWK, have demonstrated successful flights, proving that this much more complex technology is maturing. So where does this leave the dream of a true hypersonic stealth jet, like a successor to the SR-71? That's the big multi-billion-dollar question. While weapons are the immediate priority, you can bet that the research into a reusable, piloted or unpiloted hypersonic intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance platform is continuing in the background. Companies like Lockheed Martin have openly teased concepts like the SR-72, envisioned as a twin-engine, unmanned hypersonic drone capable of striking or spying anywhere. For now, it remains a concept, but it shows that the ultimate goal, the reusable hypersonic aircraft, is still very much the long-term prize. Russia has a fundamentally different but equally impressive technological heritage. The Soviet Union poured resources into rocketry, achieving feats like Sputnik and the N-1 moon rocket. Their expertise in ballistics and re-entry gives them a unique foundation for hypersonic weapons. Perfecting ICBMs during the Cold War taught them how to manage hypersonic speeds and thermal protection. This shaped their strategic thinking, relying on missiles as a counter to Western forces. Hypersonic weapons are the next step, ensuring credible strategic deterrence. Reinvestment in strategic forces, combined with old research and new technology, made hypersonic systems a centerpiece of their strategy. This brings us to the systems that Russia has not only developed, but has very publicly declared to be operational. This is a key part of their strategy, using these announcements to project power and create a sense of technological parity or even superiority. The first, and perhaps most strategically significant of these, is the Avangard system. This isn't a standalone missile, it's a hypersonic glide vehicle, or HGV, designed to be launched atop existing Russian ICBMs, like the powerful SS-19 or the new Sarmat missile. This gives it a truly intercontinental range from the moment it's launched. The claims about Avangard are pretty wild. Russian officials, including President Putin himself, have stated that it can travel at speeds exceeding Mach 20, but the real game changer isn't just the speed, it's the maneuverability. A traditional ballistic missile warhead follows a predictable parabolic arc. You can track it and calculate its trajectory to attempt an intercept. Avangard, however, is said to be able to make sharp, unpredictable maneuvers as it glides through the upper atmosphere. This zigzagging flight path is designed to make it effectively impossible for any current or even near-future missile defense system to intercept it. Then there's the Kinzhal, which means dagger in Russian. This is a different beast altogether. It's an air-launched ballistic missile, not a glide vehicle or a scramjet-powered cruise missile. It appears to be a modified version of the Iskander short-range ballistic missile, adapted to be launched from aircraft like the MiG-31K fighter or the Tu-22 M3 bomber. By launching it from a high-altitude, high-speed aircraft, the missile gets a significant head start. The plane is essentially acting as the missile's first stage, allowing the Kinzhal to achieve hypersonic speeds and a much greater range than its ground-launched counterpart. While Russia has claimed the Kinzhal is a true hypersonic weapon, there's some debate among Western analysts. Because it's a ballistic missile, it achieves hypersonic speeds primarily through its high arcing trajectory, much like any other ballistic missile. It does have some maneuvering capability, making it harder to intercept than older systems. But it may not be as agile as a purpose-built glide vehicle like Avangard. Regardless, Russia has claimed to have used the Kinzhal in combat in Ukraine, making it the first time a hypersonic weapon has been used in warfare. This real-world use, regardless of its effectiveness, is a significant milestone in itself. Russia's hypersonic arsenal includes the three M22 Zircon, a ship-launched cruise missile. Powered by a scramjet engine, it travels within the atmosphere at sustained hypersonic speeds. Its speed and low flight profile make it a difficult target for naval air defense systems. Designed as an anti-ship missile, the Zircon poses a significant threat to Western navies. Russia's hypersonic triad is a deliberate effort to field advanced weapons across all warfare domains, offsetting NATO's conventional superiority. A hypersonic aircraft is a logical next step in their technological roadmap. Let's talk about China. In the 21st century, that dynamic has fundamentally changed. China has emerged as a genuine powerhouse, pushing the limits of aerospace engineering with an incredibly aggressive and fast approach. It's a story of strategic investment and a clear national ambition to achieve technological superiority. China's journey into the hypersonic realm has been breathtaking. They identified hypersonic technology as a key advantage to challenge established powers, leading to massive funding into universities and research. The goal is a vehicle that can travel at Mach 5 anywhere while remaining invisible to radar. They constructed some of the world's most advanced hypersonic wind tunnels. This has been a massive catalyst for their progress. It's a tangible piece of hardware that represents a credible threat. Let's get into the hardware. The WZ-8 was unveiled in 2019 and immediately got everyone's attention. It's a sleek, high-speed unmanned aerial vehicle designed for reconnaissance missions. It's designed to be air-launched from a host aircraft like the H-6N bomber. The WZ-8's rocket engine kicks in, propelling it to incredible speeds and altitudes. Its speed and altitude makes it incredibly difficult to intercept. There have been rumors of a more ambitious project, the Dark Sword. This is envisioned as a large, unmanned combat air vehicle, designed for hypersonic speed and stealth. Think of an autonomous drone that can penetrate heavily defended airspace at Mach 5+. The Dark Sword represents a dominant, survivable, and hypersonic strike and reconnaissance platform. So, what does all of this actually mean? The development of platforms like the WZ-8 and the pursuit of concepts like the Dark Sword have massive strategic implications. For China, it's about creating a credible anti-access and area denial, or A2/AD bubble. The goal is to be able to hold high-value assets, like aircraft carriers or command centers, at risk from thousands of kilometers away. A hypersonic stealth jet can close that distance in minutes, not hours, and its flight path is far less predictable than a ballistic missile's. This dramatically shortens the reaction time for any defender, placing them in a permanently reactive posture. This capability fundamentally challenges the operational calculus of other major military powers, particularly the United States. China's hypersonic arsenal is designed specifically to counter that advantage. Ultimately, China's ambition seems to extend beyond just military applications. By leading in hypersonic research, China is positioning itself not just as a military peer, but as a future leader in global transportation and technology. All right, now we need to talk about a player that might surprise some people: Iran. For a long time, when you thought about the world's most advanced aerospace programs, Iran wasn't typically at the top of that list. Their military hardware has often been a mix of aging, legacy platforms from before 1979, reverse-engineered systems, and domestic designs developed under the heavy constraints of international sanctions. So, when Iran unveiled a missile they called the Fattah in mid-2023 and claimed it was hypersonic, it definitely raised a lot of eyebrows. The announcement was a major statement of intent. The Fattah, which translates to conqueror or opener, was presented not just as a concept, but as a fully developed and operational system. Iranian state media released videos and images showing a sleek, two-stage solid-fuel missile. The key claim was that its maneuvering re-entry vehicle, or MARV, could reach speeds of up to Mach 15 and was capable of making unpredictable atmospheric maneuvers to evade any and all existing missile defense systems. This was a bold claim, placing it, at least on paper, in the same performance category as systems developed by global superpowers with vastly larger budgets and technological resources. Now, it's really important to parse these claims carefully. There's a big difference between a ballistic missile that reaches hypersonic speeds during its re-entry phase, which many ballistic missiles do, and a true hypersonic weapon that can sustain maneuverable flight within the atmosphere. The Fattah appears to be the former, a ballistic missile equipped with a maneuvering warhead. While this is a significant technological step, especially for Iran, it's not quite the same as an air-breathing scramjet-powered aircraft or even a boost-glide vehicle like China's DFZF. It's a different category of technology, though the end goal of evading defenses is similar. So the big question becomes, is it real, and how capable is it? The unveiling was clearly a major propaganda victory for Tehran, designed to project strength both to its own people and to its regional adversaries, like Israel and Saudi Arabia, as well as the United States. It serves as a powerful deterrent, suggesting that even the most advanced, multi-layered air defense systems, like Israel's Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow systems, could potentially be overwhelmed or bypassed. Whether the Fattah can live up to all of its advertised capabilities in a real-world scenario remains a subject of intense debate among external analysts. Let's dive into the technical assessment of Iran's claims. There's a history of exaggerating military capabilities for propaganda purposes. The claimed performance figures are at the extreme high end. However, dismissing it entirely would be a mistake. Iran's ballistic missile program is one of the most developed in the Middle East. They've demonstrated the ability to conduct precise strikes. The design of the Fattah's warhead section does show what appear to be small control surfaces. This suggests a level of engineering that goes beyond a simple warhead. Iran announced a new version, the Fattah 2, claiming it was a true hypersonic glide vehicle. It keeps their adversaries guessing and complicates defense planning. So, putting it all together, what is Iran's strategy here? It's fundamentally about deterrence and asymmetric warfare. Iran knows it cannot compete with the United States or Israel in a conventional military conflict. It doesn't have a modern air force or a blue water navy comparable to its rivals. Therefore, it invests in capabilities that can bypass those conventional strengths. Ballistic missiles, and now supposedly hypersonic weapons, are the cornerstone of this strategy. They're designed to hold high-value strategic targets at risk, military bases, critical infrastructure, and population centers, to deter a potential attack on Iran itself. The claim of having a hypersonic weapon, even if it's a MARV and not a scramjet, changes the security dynamic in the Middle East. It forces regional rivals to invest heavily in even more advanced and expensive missile defense systems. It creates a constant state of uncertainty because defending against a maneuvering warhead is an order of magnitude more difficult than intercepting a predictable ballistic missile. This strategic ambiguity is a weapon in itself. The simple possibility that Iran might have this capability is enough to influence the political and military decisions of other nations in the region. From a technological standpoint, the path Iran is on is one of incremental, persistent development. They leverage knowledge from other countries where they can, they invest heavily in their domestic engineering talent, and they focus on achieving good enough solutions that meet their strategic needs. The Fattah may not be as sophisticated as a US or Chinese hypersonic system, but it doesn't need to be. It just needs to be capable enough to pose a credible threat to the specific defense systems it's designed to defeat. It's a pragmatic approach born out of necessity and decades of operating under sanctions. Ultimately, the story of Iran's hypersonic program is a perfect illustration of how this technology is proliferating beyond the traditional great powers. While there are legitimate questions about the true state of their technology and the veracity of their claims, the direction of travel is undeniable. Iran is determined to develop and field weapons that can challenge the technological superiority of its adversaries. The Fattah and Fattah II announcements are clear signals that the hypersonic arms race is no longer an exclusive club, and that the strategic landscape of the Middle East is becoming increasingly complex and dangerous as a result. While the US, Russia, and China dominate the hypersonic space, Israel consistently exceeds expectations in military technology. For Israel, advanced defense capabilities are crucial for national survival, driving unique technological development. This focus maintains a qualitative military edge in a complex region, prioritizing smart, fast, and technologically advanced solutions. From Iron Dome to cyber warfare, this philosophy extends to hypersonic and stealth technology. Israel's pioneering work in drones and missile defense provides a foundation for hypersonic development through collaboration with allies like the United States. Hypersonic stealth flight challenges are being systematically addressed within Israel's defense industry. Israel's advanced tech development is deeply linked to its partnership with the United States. Programs like the Aero Missile Defense System, co-developed with Boeing, demonstrate this collaboration. Israel's Silicon Wadi tech sector fuels defense innovation. Elite military tech units like Unit 8200 produce talent that transitions to the private sector. This allows rapid adaptation of commercial tech for military use. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems behind the Iron Dome shows interest in high Mach flight. Israel Aerospace Industries' expertise is a massive asset. Their involvement is almost certain in any Israeli hypersonic effort. The key to hypersonic flight is the scramjet engine. Unlike turbojets, scramjets have no moving parts. Air is compressed by the vehicle's speed before fuel injection creates thrust. Reports suggest Israel, with U.S. labs, researches scramjets. Hypersonic speeds generate extreme heat, melting conventional alloys. Thermal protection systems using ceramic composites are essential. Stealth adds another layer of complexity. Hypersonic flight creates a plasma sheath, increasing infrared signature. Multispectral stealth is crucial. Shifting gears, let's talk about North Korea. Pyongyang's military parades showcase strength and technological prowess. Recent parades have featured alleged hypersonic weapons like the Hwasong-8. The goal is propaganda for both domestic and international audiences. Analysts try to separate the mock-up from reality. North Korea has demonstrated surprising leaps in missile technology, from short-range to ICBMs. Claims are taken with a grain of salt. Independent verification is impossible. The truth likely lies in the middle. They are determined to develop this technology to circumvent missile defenses. North Korea faces a technical mountain in developing a functional hypersonic glide vehicle. This requires advanced technology that strains even wealthy nations. North Korea's isolated economy and limited industrial base make this difficult. Foreign assistance has long benefited their missile program. The similarity of their designs to those of China or Russia suggests outside help. Overcoming communication blackouts and developing precise control systems are major challenges. Despite hurdles, their test-fail-fix cycle leads to incremental progress. Their determination should not be underestimated. Why is North Korea so obsessed with this technology? It's all about strategy. From Pyongyang's perspective, their nuclear arsenal is their ultimate survival guarantee. But that guarantee only works if they can deliver a warhead to its target. A hypersonic glide vehicle is designed specifically to defeat missile defense systems, complicating interception. The development of these weapons has a significant destabilizing effect on the region, sparking a regional arms race. It puts U.S. bases at greater risk, forcing a re-evaluation of force protection measures. It's a classic asymmetric strategy, using a relatively low-cost program to impose high costs on a more powerful adversary. North Korea's pursuit of hypersonic weapons is a clear signal that they have no intention of giving up their nuclear deterrent. So where do we stand in the global race for hypersonic supremacy? The United States focuses on reusable systems. Russia has fielded boost glide systems like Avangard. China has made rapid progress with systems like the DF-17. Each nation's approach reflects its unique strategic culture. Who's in the lead? Russia and China have operational weapons right now. The United States is pursuing advanced technology for the long term. The leader could change with the next breakthrough. Hypersonic technology is reshaping global military power. Who do you think is winning? Subscribe for more tech deep dives.